Okay, so I'm gonna make a video for the Pear Deck for today. This was the warm-up. What we're trying to do here is change the equation from standard form, which is the way it is right now, to slope-intercept form. Okay, and the way to do that is to get the y by itself. What I mean to get by y by itself is the only thing I want to have. That's not the one I want to do. The only thing I want to have on this side of this line is just the y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this 3x and I'm going to move it over to the other side. So notice how 3x is positive on this side. When I move it over to the other side, it's going to become a negative 3x. When they jump over to the other side, they switch sign. So that gets rid of the 3x and moves it over to the other side. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. If that's a positive 2, then you just divide by 2. If it's just a positive y, then you don't do anything, okay? You just fix the other side, rearrange the other side, and that's it. But if you want to get just the y by itself, when divided by negative 2, that makes it a 1, so that gets the y by itself, okay? And I have to divide everything also by 2, okay? So 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. And negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3 over 2x. Okay, so just rewrite it. So the 3 over 2x goes right here, and the minus 2 right there. So that's all you have to do to change the equation from standard form to slope-intercept form. Okay. If there's no number like number 2, you're going to divide by negative 1. Okay. Over here is a positive 3, so I'm going to divide by positive 3. So I'll do this one too. So I'm going to grab the 7x, move it over to the other side, becomes a negative. And then I get rid of the 3. I don't have to divide by negative 3 because it's not negative. If it was, then I would have to divide by negative 3. So I divide just by 3. So I get y is equal to 3 divided by 3 is 1 minus 7 over 3x. And then I just flip those. They don't change signs because they're not going over the equal sign. They just flip places. Okay. And that's how you do it. Okay, let's see. Okay, in the previous ones, we've done parallel lines. This one, we're gonna do perpendicular lines. Okay, so remember that parallel lines, they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines, their slopes are opposite and reciprocal. Okay, so if the lines were parallel, if they're parallel, then they would use the same slope. So it would have 2 as your slope. But because they're perpendicular, the slope is going to be the opposite and reciprocal. So what's the opposite of a positive 2? Or a negative 2. And what's the reciprocal of 2? 1 over 2. So that's the slope we're going to use. So let's use the formula b equals y minus mx. And let's plug in the points. So we got x, we got y, and we have our m. So b equals y is 2, m is negative 1/2, and x is 6. Okay. So b equals 2. What's half of 6? Well, half of 6 will be 3. And we got a negative and a negative. That's going to make it a positive. So it'll be 2 plus 3. So b equals 2, 5. So there's our 2 parts of our puzzle. Now we just write down the equation. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Okay. So that's all we do for that one. Okay. Okay, same thing, write the equation of a line perpendicular to that passes through that point. Okay, so let me clear this. Again, the lines are perpendicular, so the opposite and the reciprocal. So what's the opposite of a negative? A positive. And what's the reciprocal of 3 over 4? 4 over 3. That's the slope we're going to use. Here's my x, here's my y. So let's go ahead and do it. B equals y minus mx. So b equals y is negative 8, minus m is 4 over 3, and x is equal to 3. Okay, in this case, you can say what's 4/3 of 3. I guess you could say that 4/3 of 3. So, but if not, you can always make the whole number into a fraction, multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. 12 divided by 3 will be 4. So B equals negative 8 minus 4, which is negative 12. Okay, so we got our two pieces of our puzzle. We got y equals our m is 4 over 3x minus 12. Okay. Okay, on this one, it says, write the equation of the line that passes through the points 6 and 2 and is perpendicular to the line that passes through the points negative 5 and 3. Okay, so here we're going to do two things. We're going to find the slope. Okay, so to find the slope between those 2 points, we're going to make a t-chart, negative 5 and 3, negative 9 and negative 1, negative 9. Okay, so from 3 to negative 9, let's see, from 3 to 0, that's minus 3, and then another minus 9, that's going to be minus 12. And then from negative 5 to negative 1, so you're going from negative 5 to negative 1, that'll be positive 4. So the slope here, it's negative 12 divided by 4. Let me write it down, so in case you're not listening. So negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So I want the opposite and reciprocal of negative 3. So the opposite is positive, and the reciprocal will be 1 over 3. So that's the slope that I want, opposite and reciprocal. So there's my slope, and here's my x, here's my y. So same formula, b equals y minus mx. Probably by now, you guys are probably starting to memorize that formula. I should probably show you how I got that formula in case you forget. Maybe you remember this one. It's the same thing, but you just move the mx to the other side. So mx minus y equals b, and then just rewrite it where you put the b on the left side. So if you remember that one because you've seen it like more times, 7th grade, 8th grade, then you know how to go from that one to this one. Okay, so let's plug in the parts. So y is 2, m is 1/3, and x equals 6. So what's 1/3 of 6? So that means you have 6 and you can cut it into 3 parts, so that'll be 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. So there is our y-intercept. So there's our equation of a line. Y equals 1 over 3x. And that's it because the y-intercept is 0. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And 2 more to do. Okay, so same thing as the one before. Okay, what did I do first? I made a table. It's perpendicular, so I'll make sure that it's perpendicular. So -6 and 1, 0 and 4. So from 1 to 4. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be 3. And then from -6 to 0, that will be +6. So the slope is 3 over 6, which is equal to 1/2. So what's the opposite and reciprocal? So the opposite of 1/2 is negative, and the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2. So there's our slope that we want to use. So you don't want to use this one. You would use this one if the lines were parallel, because parallel lines have the same slope. We want to use this one because they're perpendicular. Okay, so there's your x, there's your y, there's the equation. So b equals y. Y is 7. M is -2. And x is also -2. Negative times a negative, it's a positive. And 7 minus 4, that is equal to 3. So there's our two pieces. Sorry. Y equals -2x plus 3. Okay. And let's go ahead and do the last one. Okay, so a pair of perpendicular lines intersect at a point 5,9. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line that also passes through -4 and 4. So this one I might have to do a little bit of a graph. So a pair of perpendicular lines intersect at point 5 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 and 9. And I have two lines, and write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line that also passes through -4 and 4. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have a line that goes here, and I have another line, let me change the color, that goes through here. So I already have this, I can find this slope. That's gonna give me the other slope, and then I'm gonna use that point to write the equation of the line, okay? So what's the slope from -4, 4 to 5 and 9? Well, let's go ahead and find it. So I'll make a table. And I have 5 and 9. I don't want to use that one. Sorry. Let's make a table. So we got 5 and 9 and -4 and 4. So from 9 to 4, we minus 5. From 5 to -4, we're going to minus 9. From 5 to 0, that's 5, plus another 4, that'll be 9. So the slope is -5 over -9, which in turn changes into 5 over 9 because you have a negative divided by a negative. Okay, so that's the equation of this one, up 5 and over 9. So the green line, the slope for the green line is going to be the opposite and reciprocal. So what's the opposite of 5, 9? Negative 5, 9. And what's the reciprocal of 5 over 9? Negative 9 over 5. So that's the slope we want to use. Okay, and we're going to use that point, 5 over 9. Okay, so the formula is b equals y minus mx. B equals y, y is 9. M is -9 over 5. And x is 5. Okay, don't put that x. top times top, bottom times bottom. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 1 is 5. 45 divided by 5, it's 9. And we got two negatives, so two negatives will make a positive. So negative times negative is positive, so it'll be 9 plus 9. So B equals 18. There's my two pieces. So that means if I follow that green line, it will go through my y-axis at 18. So y equals negative 9 over 5x plus 18. And that is all. That's the last slide. Okay, so hopefully this helps. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, and I'm gonna keep